going west now, back towards home, heading towards Newport, and you know what that means. That means I'll probably go and have another hot drink at Dragon Soul just to warm up. They'll be hitting their 2nd anniversary very, very soon. Sometime in February, I don't remember the date. Traffic on this road than there was when I came up it. I mean, going the other way, fortunately. There was a Triumph Tiger in, actually there were 2 bikes in Taylor's that caught my eye. The Triumph Tiger, because if I found an absolute bargain of a Tiger, I might be interested in having another one. That was a 1050 in there. It was a bit pricey, but then you'd expect that in a dealer. They got to make money too. But there was also an old 1970s Triumph Adventurer 500cc twin trail bike. I always fancied one of them when I was a youth. I mean, they'd be thoroughly useless as a trail bike. Way too heavy. And basically they put a high front mudguard on it. And a small alloy tank. And a semi-high level exhaust. And called it a trail bike. I guess it's a bit like what I'm riding right now. Put a high level exhaust on it, call it a scrambler. It's not a scrambler, it's a Bonneville or a street twin with a high exhaust. But like I say, it caught my eye. I like the look of it. I wouldn't take it off road, but I just like the look of it. That didn't have a price on it, so that might be part of a private collection. Actually, many years ago, I had an old 500 bathtub Triumph, and the bathtub had been removed. High level exhaust, scrambler exhaust straight through. With trials tyres, you know, all made to look the part. And that was a great bike, but somebody just walked up to me the once and made me an offer I couldn't refuse, and there you go, I didn't own it any longer. That was a long time. It was 1957, I think. And as is usually the case, I sold it when they weren't worth a lot of money. Do you know, if I look back, some of the bikes I've had, appreciated in value, and at the time you would never have thought that they would. At the time, as soon as they were second hand, they were worth pennies in comparison. But over time, some bikes have just become worth money, and some of them are bikes you wouldn't expect to be to become like, you know, they weren't limited or particularly special in any way. But then I've never purchased a bike with the intention of making money out of it. I've never kept it in absolute pristine condition. Polished it every weekend, parked it inside my house with the intention of making money. Every bike I've owned, I've ridden and enjoyed. Well, in some cases not enjoyed quite so much. I remember in the early 80s I fancied the idea of 6 cylinders, and I had myself a Honda CBX. Great bike, and I kind of wished I'd kept it. But it didn't stop particularly well or handle that well. And as tyres and suspension and brakes and things improved, which didn't take very long, there were plenty of bikes out there with far fewer cylinders that did everything better. In fact, the bike I had after that was its equal and far more comfortable, and that was a BMW R100 RS. But equally, there's been just as many bikes I didn't own. I couldn't afford them at the time, or I couldn't justify affording them, or there were questions and I thought, no, I don't really know whether I want one. But now, looking back with hindsight, which is a wonderful thing, you look back and you think, damn, I wished I'd bought that. But I've enjoyed more bikes than I've regretted over the years. There's only been a very small handful of bikes that I regretted owning. They didn't do what I wanted them to do, and I didn't keep them very long. There's been other bikes that I've had that were pretty much perfect straight out of the showroom, which has been annoying because I do like to tinker with them. And this one's a good example. I bought it because I like the look of it, but I wasn't impressed with the way it went or handled. And that's hence the reason why I've done so much tinkering with it and altered so many things on it. And now, for what it is, I'm quite chuffed with it, and that's why I've kept it for so long. When I first had it, it didn't exactly do what it said on the tin. Now I think it does. Nothing more, nothing less. Just works just about right. I wonder if the day that I stop tinkering with it and adjusting things and altering things, I wonder if that's the day that I'll think, no, that's it, I've had enough, and get rid of it. I don't think so. I'm not going to know until that day comes. When I was younger, I never used to own many bikes for very long. I was forever swapping them. I don't know, I've never added up how many bikes I've ever had. I'll do that one day, but I'll have to sit down with a piece of paper, because I've owned an awful lot of bikes. Kind of started on Italian bikes when I first started riding bikes on the road. Then I went Japanese. Then I went British. That was old school Triumphs. I had a very short stint at American. I had a couple of Harleys. And then I kind of started to go all round it again. Went back to Italian. That didn't last long because it was a sports bike and it was bloody killing my back. I did Japanese. I'm in the British stage now. I don't think I'm going to do American again. Nothing really appeals. Plus, of course, it's kind of changed. I mean, you'd look at this and say, yeah, it's a British bike, which it is. It's a British company, but it was made in Thailand, so a British bike with Eastern influence. Right, well, I'm nearly at DS. I shall have a drink there, then I'm going to go home, park the bike up, light the fire, and warm my bones up in front of it. That is if the cats don't get to it first, which they quite often do.